Hey everyone, so this is my first YouTube video, kind of, because I am using a channel that me and my best friend used to share, and we do have over 1,000 subscribers, so I kind of didn't want the channel to go to waste, and she gave me permission to use it, so I did private all of our videos. And if you don't like the videos with just me, you can unsubscribe, which is the great thing about YouTube. But if you do like them and want to continue seeing them, I would love to have you. And if this is your first time, I would really like if you subscribed. So for my first video, because it is the holiday season, I decided to do a kind of take on a traditional holiday glam look, which when I think of holiday, I think of gold glitter and like a red lip. But I really like colorful eyeshadow looks, so I thought I would add a little bit of green to my eyes, and instead of doing a red lip, I just decided to do a kind of glossy, shimmery lip, so it didn't like battle the eye look. So yeah, this is the look I came up with, and it's actually a look that I wear all the time, even not for the holidays, because I'm a little bit extra. So if you want to see how I did this look, just keep watching. So not like this is a shock to anyone, but I have no idea how this is going to come out or where to look, because I'm going to have my mirror over here, but I still need to somewhat look at the camera, so I don't know. I can't decide if this is going to be more awkward for me or more awkward for you, but I'm just going to give it a go. So most people would normally do their eyes first when they're using glitter, but I always do my base first, which is stupid because there is usually fallout, but I, like to live life on the edge. So the first thing I like to do is prep my skin, and my favorite product right now is the Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer Mist by Hard Candy. It kind of leaves your face a little tacky, which I really like. After I let my primer spray sink in, I go in with the Milk Blur Stick, and I put this in my T-zone, and it just like kind of blurs and mattifies my pores. I do like very glowy skin, which you'll see the other products I use are very glowy, but I do like to avoid oil in my T-zone, so that's why I do that. So normally if I was actually like going to a holiday party, I would wear foundation, and my favorite foundation is Face and Body by MAC, and this is extremely sheer coverage, so if you're into like medium to full coverage, you would probably hate this, but if you still like your skin to show through, you would really like this. But I am currently running very low on it, so because I'm probably just going to take my makeup off after this, I'm gonna skip this step, which I usually skip anyway when I'm doing just like my normal makeup routine. And I go right in with concealer. So the concealer that I have been using lately is the Full Coverage Liquid Concealer from Ulta. And I really like this concealer because even though it says it's full coverage, it's not as drying as most like full coverage like the Tarte Shape Tape is. So yeah, I really like this. So what I do, even when I'm just like not wearing foundation, I just put it under my eyes, and then I put it on my eyelids for a primer for my eyeshadow. And then I put a little down my nose, a little bit on my forehead, right in the cracks of my nose where I get redness, and then on my chin, and that's just kind of it. Then I take my sponge, my damp sponge, and just blend it in. And as you can see, it's not like covering everything, but I'm okay with that because I really don't like full coverage. I just like there to be like a more even base for my powder products. So yeah, that's what I do. God, the lighting's so bad. Alright, I gotta stop late. bending forward. And right now I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin, I think it's a foundation. Yeah, it's a foundation. It's in a really light shade. I don't think it adds any coverage or anything. It just kind of sets my makeup. And I'm almost out of it, and I probably won't repurchase it because I got it at TJ Maxx and it's really expensive otherwise, but it is a really good powder, so I highly suggest it. So the first thing I do is set my under eyes because that's where I crease the most, and then I set my eyelids, and then I kind of just set the rest of my face. And after that, I like to bronze up my face, and I'm honestly not really into contouring anymore. I don't know if it's just because I'm lazy, but I don't know. Usually when I do it, I just find that it makes my face look muddy, and I'm just not into that look. So, but I do like to bronze up my face. So I'm using Hoola by Benefit, and I'm just going to put it kind of on my forehead because I have a large and in charge forehead. I just kind of blend that in. It just like gives my face a healthy glow. God, this lighting's awful. Put it on my chin, under my chin to get rid of my double chin, even though it still exists. And then I take what's left over on my kabuki from my face powder and kind of just blend that in. And then the last thing I do to kind of, I don't know, give my face that healthy bronzy look is I use a blush called Telling Glow, and it's an extra dimension blush from MAC, and I'm obsessed with this because it blends into my tan so perfectly, but it also highlights my face at the same time and just makes me look healthier. And so I put that on my cheeks and kind of up onto my temples. Do the same thing. And I like a lot of blush. It tends to wear off the quickest out of everything on my makeup, so I start off with some pretty pink cheeks. And then I also put it at the tip of my nose. And then my favorite thing to do is highlight the fuck out of my face. So when it comes to highlighting, I like to use a pressed highlighter and then as like my base, and then I use a loose highlighter because those are crazy intense. So the highlighter that I like right now is actually from Shop Miss A, and it's only $1, and it's in the color Cloud, and it's kind of like a cool toned highlighter, and because I'm doing a cool toned eye look, I just think it goes really well. And so I just take my brush and brush it in, and then I put it on my cheekbones, and it is super intense. So now that my base highlighter is on, most people would stop there because that's crazy, but I just keep going. After I have my pressed highlighter on, I go in with a loose highlighter, and the one I like right now is from the Gothographic collection, I think is what it's called, from Wet n Wild. And I feel like you might not be able to get this anymore, but they have other loose highlighters available, and they're really good. They're just a little bit different in color. So I take this and put it on my cheeks, and it's insane, as you can see, which is what I like. Then I put it down my nose, and then I take my finger and put it on my Cupid's bow. And because that looks a little crazy, I will take my damp sponge and kind of blend everything in. Okay, so once I have my brows kind of filled in and outlined how I like them, I will take a brow powder. And the one I use right now is just from NYX, and it looks kind of gross because I've been using it for so long. And then I take a brush like this, and this is actually one of my first makeup brushes ever, so it's like 10 years old. but I still love it. And I just kind of go in and like fill in my brows a little more, because I do have like little kind of like bald spots that is hard to get with the pomade without my brows looking like super drawn on, I guess. So I feel like the powder kind of makes my brows look fluffier, and it still fills it in with pigment. So my brows are done, and now we're gonna get on to the eyes, which I don't know how this is gonna go. I need a drink of my Monster for this. So I'm gonna try to zoom in. I am going to start off with just, you know, a transition shade for my crease, and the one I use for this look is from the Morphe 39A palette, which is one of my favorites. And I really like this color because it's more like cool toned, which we are doing a cool tone look, so it kind of fits perfectly. So just take that on a fluffy crease brush and I just go for it. And this is kind of one of those looks where it looks really bad until it doesn't look bad, if that makes sense. Because I am going to be using black, and I feel like black is one of those colors that you really just have to keep working at it for it to look good. So yeah, that's kind of what's going to happen here. I actually don't feel like this eye look looks good until I have like my eyeliner on, because I feel like the eyeliner kind of makes it look a little bit neater, because I did do my base first, so I can't really clean the look up, I guess. So now that I have my crease color on, which most people probably wouldn't do a color this dark, but because I'm using black, I feel like it blends into the black better than a lighter crease shade. So I am going to be using the black from the same palette, and it's literally the best black that I've ever used. It's so dark, and I mean, if you want a more buildable black, which some people like, you might not like it, but if you just want that like intense pigment right off, this black is great. It just takes a little bit longer to blend. So I am going to take another brush, which is dirty, but I used the black last time, so it should be fine. And I am just going to start on my outer V and see, yeah, that's intense right off the bat, which I like, because the quicker I can do a look, the better. Like, I'm just not someone that sits there and blends for hours, which is probably why some of my looks don't turn out like they do in my head, but this one kind of works out. And then I take what's left of the pigment after I put it on my outer corner and kind of bring it in. And then I do the same on the other side. And I see how I find like with that darker crease shade, it definitely like blends into the black nicely. Whereas if I used a lighter crease shade, I feel like I'd have to go in with another color that's a little bit lighter than black to blend in, if that makes sense. So after I have that black on, I go back in with my other brush with that cool tone brown and kind of just blend the edges. And then what I like to do is I usually just use a face powder, and I take that and kind of blend out the edges with that. See how it kind of gave it more of a gradient looking effect? And then I go back in with that original brush with that brown color on it, and I blend it all together. But now that I'm happy with how this has been smoked out, it's very intense, I know, but it's kind of what I prefer, I'm gonna go in with the gold shade, and the shade that I'm using is from the Freak palette from Juvia's Place. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time, and I'm obsessed with this gold shade right here. The reason why I like it is because it's like a neutral gold in my opinion. It's not too yellow and not too orange. It's just like right in between. I normally just put some on my finger and I just pop it onto my lid. And I keep just building it up until I get the intensity that I want. I go back in with that brush that I originally started with and I just kind of blend the crease out. And so now my lid shades are done and it looks a little crazy like I said before, but I swear it all comes together in the end. So now I'm gonna go in and do my eyeliner, which this is probably what I get asked the most questions about, like how do you get your eyeliner so perfect and what do you use? Well, I feel like because I like such big winged eyeliner, I have more wiggle room when it comes to like getting my eyeliner perfect, because I literally don't care if my eyeliner and my eyebrow touch. Like I don't know, I like that look. And I don't really have like a specific method, I guess. I just keep going, just like I do with my eyeshadow, keep going back and forth to each eye to match them up. And if they end up huge, then that's just how it is. So the eyeliners I like to use, I use two different ones. I use the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and then I use the Eye Booster Serum Liner from Physicians Formula, and they're both similar. They're both like a brush tip applicator, and I find that the one from Physicians Formula is a little bit more precise, whereas this one gets the pigment out extremely fast, and when you're doing your wing, it's kind of hard to control. So I use this as like my base eyeliner, so I do like the line across my lid and I kind of get the shape. And then I go back in with this to like clean it up and make it more precise. So yeah, let's see how this works out. So I just kind of draw the line on my lid. Oh, here we go. I just draw the line. And I already, as you can see, I already start off pretty large. Like most people would be frightened by how large I start my wing off, but I really like that look. Okay, so now that I kind of have like the start of them done, I will go in with this liner and just keep going back and forth to get like that precise wing and kind of just match them up. So I like how that looks. So now I gotta get it to match up on this side. So the next thing I'm gonna do is go in with a gold glitter, and I like to go in with the glitter after I do my eyeliner because I find it's hard to get eyeliner over glitter. So the glitter I'm gonna be using is from this pressed glitter eyeshadow palette from Beauty Glazed, and I am gonna be using this gold right here, and it goes really well with the eyeshadow. And I'm actually not going to be using a glitter glue because sometimes a glitter glue can cause the glitter to ball up, and I want to avoid that. So I'm just going to go in with this, and it sticks pretty well to the lid. So I'm okay with just putting some on the tip of my finger and just packing it on like I did with the eyeshadow. So yeah. So yeah, now I have a nice glittery lid. I'm gonna go back in with my eyeliner because I did get glitter on top of my eyeliner, so I'm just gonna kind of brush over that the best I can. So yeah, there is the top of my eyeshadow. And now where the green comes in is going to be my lower lash line, which is my favorite part of this look. So I'm going to get a tiny brush, if I can find one. This is a brush I like to use for my lower lash line. It's kind of like a tiny, small, tapered blending brush. What I'm gonna do is go back in with the black from the 39A palette. And I am just going to brush that kind of right on my lash line, kind of connecting it to that wing. And I like my lower lash line super smoked out, so I even let it kind of like go right into my eye bag. That's why I don't know, I don't really care about putting too much concealer under my eyes because I know I'm just gonna cover it up with black. And see how like now that I have my eyeliner on and I'm doing my lower lash line, the eyeshadow kind of connects all together and makes like that wing shape without me having to like clean it up. So I'm gonna go back in with the Afrique palette and I'm gonna be using this green. So I am going to take that on the brush, the same brush, and I'm gonna kind of put it like right under that black, but also on top of it, and kind of smoke that out. And now I'm gonna kind of mimic what's going on top of my lid, back in with the gold color. And I'm using that same brush because that's just how I roll. And I'm gonna put that right on the inner corner portion of my lower lash line. And now I'm gonna go in with an eyeliner, and I'm gonna be using a green aqua, like teal eyeliner. And this is from L'Oreal. And I'm going to line my waterline with this. So it kind of, instead of doing black, this kind of like ties in the green on my lower lash line. For my inner corner, I am going to use this gorgeous green brown shifting like duochrome eyeshadow from ColourPop in the color Tea Garden. And I find it to be a dupe for the color Electric from Subculture, which is one of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. And yeah, it kind of works with this look because it ties in the green and the gold together. And yeah, I just take a angled brush and put that on my inner corner. And for my brow bone, I am going to go back to the Afrique palette, and I'm going to use this white silvery gold color and just lightly put that on my brow bone to highlight. To kind of bring the glitter back in, I am going to go back in with my palette, and I will be using a brush. It's just like a flat, I think it's a concealer brush. And I'm going to go back in with that gold and put that on my lower lash line. And then my favorite glitter in this palette is actually this like white and green glitter, and I'm going to put that on my inner corner because you can never have enough glitter. And yeah, now the eye look is all done. I just need to set my face and put mascara on, and the spray I'm using is the Morphe setting spray. And then I kind of just pat everything in. And then most people would use lashes, but I'm not that good at putting them on. So I just go in with a ton of mascara, and this mascara from It Cosmetics called Hello Lashes is my favorite at the moment, so I'm going to put that on right now. So this is the completed look. It is just a gold green smoky eye with a ton of glitter, and I really hope you like this video. I know it's really awkward and the lighting's terrible, but hopefully I will be able to like figure out a better setup for the future. This was kind of like my testing video, and as I watched it back I noticed that it looked terrible. But maybe I can figure it out in editing, but probably not. So yeah, I will see you next time. And if you like this video, maybe subscribe to my channel. Bye!